cold?
Off to a good start against Houston down there. What do you want to see from your team this time around besides a good start tomorrow night?
Yeah, consistency for sure. We've got to be able to play for 4 quarters. They're definitely a team that can come back on you, or they can score in bunches. They can make you turn the ball over in bunches. So not only do we have to come out with a good start, but we've got to finish. We've got to play a four complete quarters.
How important is this week for you guys to take care of business tomorrow and over the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, every game's important, as we know, but clearly just from the past 7 games, it appears that we're a much better home team than on the road. So when we have the opportunity to play at home, we need to make sure that we take advantage of that and take care of business. All the while, we cannot assume that just because we're playing at home that that's going to be a win for us. We've really got to be mature and understand that every game that we play is going to be a dogfight, and especially the second time around. The second time around is so much more difficult, whether you win or lose, and our kids are going to have to really be mature and understand that.
Coach, you sort of mentioned consistency within the game, but just what do you attribute the sort of inconsistency game to game so far in the Big 12?
Yeah, it's baffling, to be quite honest, because I feel like we turn some corners and take some steps forward and then immediately take steps backwards. I think as a staff, we're looking into all the things. We're looking into all the ways that we prepare. How do we prepare differently on the road, or are we preparing differently on the road? We're looking at downtime. We're looking at film sessions. The length of them. We're looking at pregame warm up. I mean, all the things. And I'm not real sure there's a magic formula. We certainly haven't found it yet. But I do know that these kids are taking it to heart. They're the ones that can fix it, clearly. But we've got to help them as much as we can as a coaching staff. And so we just got to keep teaching them and keep building them up and being positive about it, and teaching them how to play on the road in the Big 12.
And y'all had some big wins this against Kansas and Iowa State. You mentioned they were at home. Do you think any of the games you've had after Oklahoma State and now BYU, do you think any of it is mental or just the approach coming off a big win?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that's what we're trying to figure out, right? You would hope not. You would hope that it would affect you the other way, which would give you confidence and give you an understanding of what it takes to win big games. I do definitely think that our crowd helps us at home. I mean, I told the girls the other day, it's easy to play in front of 5,000 people that are for you. It's a lot different when there's 5,000 people that are against you, and we've got to figure out how to push through that. But it can't be effort and just tenacity is not a thing that is negotiable. It's not a thing that can be inconsistent. I mean, you're going to shoot the basketball inconsistently. You're going to probably connect, maybe turn the basketball over a little bit more here and there, depending on the style of play. But the effort and the intensity level cannot be inconsistent. It has to be the same whether we're playing at home or away, or as I like to say, if we're playing tiddlywinks. We got to be in it to win it.
You've already beaten Houston once. Does that kind of help with understanding you can beat this team, especially playing them now at home, or is it kind of more of a sense of urgency?
I think whenever you play a team a second time, it's actually harder for the team that won, in my opinion, because you have to guard against thinking that there aren't any adjustments. As soon as that game was over, we do a post-game scout, and we knew there were adjustments that we had to make for the second time we play them. But I think when you are unsuccessful the first time you play somebody, you really go to work at trying to find the right adjustments and to make a different game plan. And so therefore you don't know, what they're going to throw at you. I would venture to say that Houston is playing some of their best basketball right now. And not only that, but, when you go back and look at our game quarter by quarter, we won one quarter. they won 3. And I know that Coach Huey's using that with them. I mean, I would be too. So our kids have got to be ready for a battle, and they got to be ready for a 40-minute battle.
Coach, as we kind of grow closer to the midway point of conference play, you're 3-4 right now. I know the history with this program over the past 10 years hasn't been that great in conference play. Kind of what are your keys to your girls to finish out this conference and push for that madness?
Yeah, we just got to keep going game by game. I mean, it has to be one day at a time. We can't look too far forward. We can't worry about what's behind us. It's got to be game by game. And our biggest game right now, and the game that's standing between us and the madness is Houston. And so that's where we have to focus all of our energy on. And hopefully our kids are learning that.
And then, obviously, at the free throw line, you guys are the best in the division right now. But on top of that, you guys have an almost 100 attempt differential between attempts and fouls, like times that they've attempted. Kind of just talk about the discipline of your team to be smart in the foul game, but also be able to draw those fouls.
Yeah, I think our kids, that is part of our game, is getting to the free throw line. And when we can't get to the free throw line, it hinders our offensive performance. We certainly have to get there because that's where, we get 10 to 15 points a game. Our kids have been really focused at shooting the basketball there when they get there. But we've got to continue to get there more and continue to be aggressive. I think as far as us fouling, we've got to continue to defend without fouling, but turn people over. When we don't turn people over, again, that hinders our offense because it eliminates some free and easier baskets for us that we have to have because our half-court offense isn't always going to be stellar. And so we've got to be able to find points in other spots.
And then since the last time we talked, Stanford's head coach, Coach Tara, breaks the record, winningest coach in basketball history. Can you just kind of talk about how that impacts women's basketball right now in a time of so much change?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, what an incredible accomplishment. And I'm a huge Tara fan. I've watched many of her teams, and I take a lot of things from her philosophy. I think she's done it the right way for so long, and I think a lot of people have tried to emulate what she does on the court, especially. But it's huge for the women's game. I mean, to be able to beat somebody like Coach K, I mean, to have another more wins than he does, that's incredible because everybody knows who Coach K is. And for her to stay in it this long, I think also she deserves a shout out for her because I think with the way the game has changed and just with the NILs and the transfer portal and all that, I would probably say that some of the older coaches in our profession, maybe me even being one of them, it would be easy to say, oh, it's changing too much. I don't want to have to deal with this change. And for her to stay in it, I think just shows her love for the game and her love for her players. But, I've watched many of those wins, and it's been fun to watch her games over the years. And, just huge congratulations to her.
Over the last few days, TCU was able to piece together a roster. You kind of glad that you guys will be able to play that game this weekend, or would it have been beneficial for rest? I just wonder, from your standpoint, do you want the minutes for the players?
No, we 100% need to play the game because of the what's the word I'm looking for? How it affects you. You might get a win in the Big 12, but you don't get the win on your overall record. So those of us that are trying to build a resume for postseason, we need wins. And so we need to play those games. I'm sure K-State and Iowa State would have loved to have had those games too, especially at TCU. But and I'm not saying that that you're going to get the win, but you got to play them. Like we have to play them to have the opportunity to win. So yeah, I'm really, really glad that they were able to get a team together, and I'm glad that we'll be able to play on Saturday. We've got a lot of events happening that day too, and it would have been disheartening to have to cancel them.
Coach, we talk about everything that you can fix and try to get better at, but from your perspective of this young team, and like we said at the beginning, battling injuries, things like that, what are you most proud of this team at this moment?
I think probably more than anything that they keep getting back up. I think that's a huge life lesson. I think that they're really fun to be around, and as frustrating as I've been at times, trying to push the right buttons for them and try to help them be successful. They're a really good group of girls, and our culture is really good. I think that they really want to do well. They understand the responsibility of being a Lady Raider, and I can't ask for more than that, really. I mean, I want them to play hard. I want them to play smart. I want them to play together, and we're going to get there on all those accounts. But I just love the fact that they keep getting back up, and they have a lot of pride about what they're doing. Thank you, guys.